Here. What's happening, Pocket Watchers? It's your host, TP, here in the flesh. If you like me and you like Pocket Watching, subscribe and tap into our episodes. Don't forget to leave a comment below on who you want to see next. But for today, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at how much she earns and where exactly all that money comes from. We hopping into the pockets of Rihanna. Yo, TP, cue the intro. Robin Rihanna Fenty. If I haven't given it up already, she's better known as Rihanna. She's a 32-year-old Barbadian singer and songwriter. And as of October 2010, Riri is signed to the Roc Nation record label. In total, she's accumulated about 19 billion streams on Spotify alone. You can add about another 3 billion streams on Apple Music and just over 2 billion streams across all other DSPs, totaling just over 24 billion streams for her career, based off of an industry standard 0.005 per stream and an industry standard contract, which is 10 to 15 points. For those that don't know, points are percentages. She's managed to generate her label over $95 million in streaming revenue alone. Meaning, on the low end, she put about $9,500,000 in her pockets, and on the high end, about $14,250,000 from total streaming revenue. Overall, in Riri's career, she's dropped 8 studio albums, 2 compilation albums, 1 remix album, 1 reissue, and an insane 75 singles. The girl stays working. Through that amazing resume, she's released 52 songs as a lead artist, 18 as a featured artist, and has done 2 charity singles, 5 promotional singles, and most importantly, has charted with an incredible 31 other songs. It's to nobody's surprise that she's been popular for a really long time. And the song you probably know Rihanna for likely depends on how old you are. One of her biggest and most influential old songs is Umbrella, while S&M got popular a little later on. And today, well, she's known for hits like Needed Me, Bitch Better Have My Money, and Love on the Brain. Riri has gone on to earn 8 Grammy Awards, 12 American Music Awards, and 1 Inaugural Icon Award, all of which led to huge sources of income for her. On Spotify, Riri has 39,223,157 monthly listeners, translating to her most recent album, Anti, which pulled in over 4.5 billion streams globally. With that album alone, she has made her label Roc Nation about $22,500,000, earning herself on the low end $2,250,000 and $3,375,000 on the high end from anti-streaming revenue only. Pretty impressive if you ask me, considering Riri made more from one album than most artists make over their entire catalog. Yo, let's take a quick detour into her brand bag. Pocket Watchers, listen closely because I think it's important to point out the intangibles here. We know that she's a global ambassador for multiple brands including Chopard and Samsung, Puma, LVMH. That's just to name a few. Riri's deal with Samsung was worth $25 million, while the deal with LVMH was $10 million and was upfront. It's worth noting, though we can't exactly calculate what she makes from each of these deals, it is safe to assume that these deals make up for a pretty large portion of her income. Hopping into her YouTube bag with 16,178,480,148 total YouTube views. Riri's label Roc Nation is paid on a monthly basis from YouTube by a metric called CPM. CPMs can vary depending on the channel category, but for music, the average CPM is $2. So, with some rough calculations, she has generated about $32,356,960.29 in total YouTube revenue. Again, using a 10 to 15 point contract, she's made herself anywhere from $3,235,696.02 on the low end and up to $4,853,544.04 on the high end from total YouTube revenue, which definitely explains how she does so well on the charts. Moving into her show money, we know she commands anywhere from $800,000 to $1 million per show. With Riri being a solidified legend, it's pretty easy to find that she's had 371 tour stops over her career. Let's run the numbers. So, at $800,000 per show, that'd be $296,800,000 generated over her career. And that's on the low end. Again, assuming she's in a bit of a different type deal with shows because, well, she does tours. We can say Riri keeps about 30% and Roc Nation takes the other 7%. Let's run the numbers back again and see what Riri's cut is. At $800K per show and 371 total shows, Riri would take home about $89,040,000 on the low end. And if we go to the higher end, assuming Rihanna consistently demands $1 million per show and keeping that same 371 total shows, that'd be $371 million generated. Meaning Rihanna would keep for herself a cool $111 million. Keep in mind, this is calculated over the totality of her career, pocket watchers. We also have to account for the cash that she makes directly through features. It's safe to assume she keeps about 70% here and Roc Nation takes 30%. We know she's done 29 features and her features make her anywhere between $400,000 to $500,000 each. So, if we run some quick math, Rihanna has generated Roc Nation about $11.6 million on the low end and $14.5 million on the high end. Pocketing herself $8,120,000 on the low end and $10,150,000 on the high end, assuming she's in a 70-30 split. Going a little deeper into her pockets. In 2012, Riri made $43 million. 2 years later, in 2014, she made $48 million. Taking a little dip down to $26 million in 2015, she made up for it in 2016, making over $75 million. Coming back down to earth, Riri clocked in about $36 million in 2017. From 2018 to 2020, Rihanna has catapulted herself into a category truly of her own. While she makes a good bit of her cash from her music ventures, it's honestly not even the majority of where her money comes from. Her company Fenty Beauty brought in an estimated $573 million for its first calendar year revenue. So, stick with me here, pocket watchers. 2019. There aren't too many numbers available online pertaining to Fenty's revenue, so we had to do our own math. According to LVMH, they saw a 16% increase in revenue across the board. So, theoretically, if we wanted to estimate what 2019 revenue could have looked like for Fenty, we'd take that previous year's $573 million in revenue and multiply it by a 16% increase, which would mean Fenty grew year over year by an estimated $91,680,000, totaling $664,680,000 in 2019 revenue for the beauty power hitter. Move into 2020. Late 2019, Rihanna and LVMH has decided to expand the Fenty brand. Rihanna is even quoted telling Business of Fashion, "Designing a line like this with LVMH is an incredibly special moment for us. Mr. Arnott has given us a unique opportunity to develop a fashion house in the luxury sector with no artistic limit." So, to get 2020 revenue so far, we're assuming a healthy 5 to 10% increase in year-over-year growth on top of the previous year's 16% year-over-year growth in part due to the launch of the new clothing sector to Fendi. Let's run the numbers. We'd assume Fenty grew an additional 21 to 26% on top of last year's revenue of $664,680,000, meaning for 2020, Fenty is expected to generate $804,262,800 on the low end. And if we use 26% growth, it could go up to $837,496,800 on the high end. As of 2018, the entire operation is worth conservatively more than $3 billion. This valuation was based on 2018 revenue at $573 million. So we ran our own numbers to figure out how Forbes estimates the valuation of Fenty. And to us, it looks like they applied a 5.2 multiple to the beauty power hitter's revenue to value the company at a touch over $3 billion. So to get the company's 2020 valuation, we'll take that same metric and determine its updated valuation. Based on our built-in year-over-year growth with a projected $804,262,800 in 2020 revenue, on the low end, Fenty Beauty could now be worth $4,182,166,560. On the higher end, based on our built-in year-over-year growth with a projected $837,496,800 in 2020 revenue, Fenty Beauty could now be worth $4,354,983,360. Pocket Watches estimates the LVMH owns about 50% of Fenty, while Rihanna has about 15%, meaning Riri's stake in Fenty could be worth anywhere from $627,324,984 to $653,247,504 on the high end. Finally, based on our numbers, we have Riri making on the low end $9,500,000 from total streaming, $3,235,696.02 from total YouTube views, $89,040,000 from total shows, $8,120,000 over 29 features, and $627,324,984 from her stake in Fenty, totaling about $737,220,680.02 over her career. And if we go to the high end, we've got Riri at $14,250,000 from total streaming, $4,853,544.04 from total YouTube views, $111 million from total shows, $10,150,000 over 29 features, and $653,247,504 from her stake in Fenty, totaling about $793,501,048.04 over her career. Pocket watchers, since we pocket watching, let's understand this does not account for her actual take home. Now, there are obviously the intangibles that we couldn't possibly account for, like Rihanna's stake in Tidal, how much she makes from appearances, fragrance, and any other endeavors that she's in. This also doesn't include Riri's deal with Samsung, which was worth $25 million, plus the deal with LVMH, which was worth $10 million up front. Also, doesn't include internal running costs, like managers, wardrobe, staff, and any other business operational costs. More importantly, let's not forget, at this level of income, Uncle Sam has a plate, mouth, and 2 handfuls worth of Riri's bread. Nonetheless, this is a pretty good and accurate calculation of what Riri's pockets look like. Alright now, pocket watchers, today's video on how Rihanna makes her money is a wrap. Who would you like for us to cover next? Let us know in the comments below. Go Gus with that thumbs up, and if you trying to be a pocket watcher, tap in with that subscribe button.